evening, everyone. Welcome to Rotor Talk Live, Season 5, Episode 2, CES 2022, Drone News Skydio 2 Plus. Is it worth it? Okay, good evening, everyone. Thanks for joining. I'm understanding it could be a little bit chilly in your neck of the woods up north, because I'm kind of seeing that in the chat. I'm kind of guessing that as well. Let's welcome everybody. Jay Bird's in the house. Matt Bagwell, Lauren is in the house. Dr. Ted is in the house. Captain Ray Kelly, Johnny Drone Flyer. I know Leonard Oglesby in the house. Rex is in the house. Let's see who else we have here. Quadcopters in tech. All right. Got Jose Luna. Welcome, Jose. Actually have some things to talk about tonight. It's like, you reach that period sometimes where, we're kind of in between things, and we're kind of there a little bit, but I do want to talk a little bit definitely want to talk about Autel tonight. But the first thing I kind of want to lead in with here tonight, drone safety, but not from drone safety from a perspective, a different perspective. Let me put you that way. Okay. Because I know, we're not talking about necessarily, flying, 400 feet, visual line of sight, that kind of thing. Okay. Not that in particular, but I'm going to share an article with you, and it was out on Drone DJ, and I thought it was important enough that we need to talk about it. And 2 men were electrocuted while retrieving drones stuck in power lines. Now, apparently they didn't die. So it's my understanding that from reading the article, it sounds like one's in serious condition, the other one's been treated. But again, 2 men in their 40s had to be rushed to a hospital last week after attempting to retrieve a drone stuck in a power line. The potentially life-threatening incident took place at a state-managed park in southeastern Australia. While investigation of the incident is on, it's believed a recreational pilot crashed his drone into 66 kV power lines before leaving to return with a flatbed truck with a crane fitted. He then asked a bystander to operate the crane to lift him up to the power lines to retrieve the drone. This is when the drone operators believed to have made contact with the power lines, receiving an electric shock that resulted in severe upper body burns. The man was rushed to the hospital, where he continues to be in serious but stable condition. The bystander operating the crane was taken to the hospital with minor lower body burns in stable condition. Following the incident, ESV is reminding drone pilots under the state's Electricity Safety Act, flying drones that weigh less than 2 kilograms within 3 meters of power lines is prohibited. Cranes are also prohibited from coming within 6.4 meters of power lines with additional safety measures in place. Okay. Now, one of the things I did take a look, and I don't know who it was. I don't want the forums. I think he had just bought an Air 2S. I'm not really sure, but I think it was definitely a DJI drone, and it was in one of the forums. And I don't know, Ron or Marcus, who'll be here in a little bit, can attest to that. I think it was out on Drone Nation. They posted it, and he purchased DJI Care Refresh, and obviously we all know with DJI Care Refresh, you need to have that drone to be able to send back to them to file a claim. Okay. Well, this drone is stuck in a tree. All right. Now, this brings this to a head here. And several people offered him suggestions. And these were the kind of suggestions that I would recommend. Number one, call your fire department. See if they come out and be able to get something like this. The other suggestion I would have, a tree trimming service. Okay. Because they obviously have to be safe from being electrocuted, because those guys deal around cutting trees down around power lines all the time, so they have to be certified by the state and everything. Don't attempt anything like this yourself, okay? Even if it is a $2,000 drone up there, all right? Let a professional do it. I'm sure the firefighters would be happy to do that. And then maybe you might want to remunerate them, and especially if they're volunteers, make a generous donation to them. Or if it's not, ask where you can donate some money for them, or, maybe come back and buy everybody pizza there or something, just kind of, to thank them for their efforts. And, the same thing, obviously, with a tree trimming company, you probably have to pay for that up front. but still, it would be done safely. They would get your drone down, and and if it can be fixed, it can be fixed. And this is another reason why I almost always suggest, if you want to get DJI Care Refresh, go for it. Okay. I personally don't get that anymore. I have my State Farm policy, $75 for a year. Anything happens to that drone, no questions asked. They cut me a check for the full amount, and I send them the invoice that I get from DJI as a copy and a proof of the bill of sale. So they have proof of that. So, again, I just, I want to make sure you guys know with something like this, about the whole safety aspect. Utility company would have helped. It's a shame they wouldn't have been happy, but would have helped. Yeah, Crypto Man, I agree. Utility companies, that's a good suggestion as well. Call the utility company. They will be happy to do something like that for you. You may have to be patient. It may take a day or two, depending upon how busy they are, but they may get out there to do that. So this is one of those things that everybody needs to be aware of. Okay. And I'm going to tell you this. Okay. Don't think you're a macho man going out there, with your pole to try to get this down. Oh, it's made out of wood. Well, guess what? If it's a folding pole, it probably has metal in it. And if it has metal in it, metal always conducts electricity. So that's a no-no. All right. So don't be a macho man. Don't be what you think is the hero here. Let someone else get that drone for you. Okay. I can't emphasize this enough. These two gentlemen are lucky they're alive right now. It could have not turned out that way. So, please, something I strongly suggest about that. Yeah, Rex, that's a good thing. I just saw your comment right there. State Farm offers, and for those of you who are new to this or haven't heard me preach about this, I get on my soapbox. State Farm Insurance, except in California, offers what's called a personal articles policy. Now, you can insure cameras, jewelry, watches, a whole host of things. All right. They will insure drones. All right. I had to provide them the bill of sale. Also have to give them the serial number of the drone. I take a physical picture of the UPC off the box and I send that to them. And my rate it's $75 for a year and it's full replacement. Now that's it's $2,200, by the time, and I had my batteries and everything in there, and they will cut you a check for that full replacement value. And, other people say, well, it's getting your rates will go up, especially if you have State Farm. That is not the case. Or your rates will go up. Even if you don't have State Farm, your homeowners will go up. That is not the case. There's been a lot of fake news about that, and that's not true. I want to tell you that firsthand. So, oh, that's good, Ray. That's very smart. You can't beat that. And for that kind of $75 for an annual premium for that is a steal. I think it's fantastic. And I said, too bad I don't get commission from that, because I think I've sold a lot of State Farm policies here locally. But I have an agent who's close by. He's a pretty big office, and all I got to do is email them if there's any changes. And also too, like if you can add drones to it, you just don't have to have one. You can have multiple drones to it, but you keep sending them the bill of sale and how much it is, and they'll add it to there. And and if you need to pay more premium, you pay more premium. But it's for a year, okay? It's $75. It's for a year. So that's something that's pretty good. Stephen Ewing, it's good to see you, my friend. Hope you're doing well. Also wanted to pass on to Drone News Media. Hopefully you're doing well, and our thoughts and prayers are with you. Also, wanted to mention too, Greg Pittman, who normally sits in on the show, he's recovering from surgery, and from what Ron had said last night on Drone Nation, sounds like he's doing well. So our thoughts and prayers are with you, Greg, for a speedy recovery. Hope you do well. And this is time. We're going to take time out here for a commercial break. All right. Well, I'm also going to take time out so Bill can have a little swig of water. But my stickers were such a hit. So I'm going to do the stickers again. Okay. First 10 people out there who don't have stickers already. All right. Send me an email, buildadronereviewer@gmail.com with the title stickers in it with your name and address. Continental United States, of course. I'll get it to you. All right. First 10 people as of, I guess it's 8:11 Eastern time on Tuesday the 11th. Okay. All right. There you go. We're going to starting off the new year right. And I know a number of you got stickers already, and I found out about that and, and are enjoying them. So that's fantastic. Okay. That's absolutely fantastic. Drone Juice, hope you're doing well, and hang in there. We'll our thoughts and prayers are with you too as well. Also, for this commercial interruption here, I've had a lot of commercial interruptions. Valerie's father is in the hospital. He has a number of underlying health issues that they're addressing right now. So if you can, he's in his mid-80s. So if you can remember him in your thoughts and prayers, we would greatly appreciate that at this time. So, all right, moving on here. All right. Now, I had mentioned in there, Leonard Oglesby, you got your sticker. Good deal. Lauren, I would love to send you one, Lauren, but it's insanity. Okay. It is just absolute insanity. So, if you can figure out an easy way for me to get you one, my friend, I will be more than happy to get you one. If it's, it's just, everything, there's so much to fill out for stuff. So, but Lauren, I'll tell you what, do me a favor, send me your address. I will get you something. Okay. buildadronereviewer@gmail.com. Send me your address. I will get you something. So, okay. All right. Moving on here. All right. Now we said in the show notes here tonight, in the description. I hope you guys read the show notes. I do put some emphasis in there. Okay. All right. I said I'm going to reveal a new drone I'm considering. Okay. Well, I am considering this, and I'm considering it because I've actually seen several good reports about this drone, and that's something that I wanted to share with you. And the drone that I'm considering is the Fimi X8 SE 2022. Now, everybody's going, "Oh, Bill, isn't that more of the same? Didn't you go through all this again?" And I said, "Well, it does have a lot of upgraded features." Okay. And that is one of the reasons I'm considering it. It has a better transmission. And here's Marcus. Marcus, how are you, sir?
Don't do it, Bill.
Awesome. Well, I was just
don't do it, brother.
Doing the great reveal here that this is a drone that is under very strong consideration for the buy button. Okay. Because I've seen some good reviews on this drone, and the price is very good on it too. And I've seen video footage from it, and it looks good. So, this is why this is one of those ones that it's in the mix right now, because I am going to be getting a second drone, and this is a really strong contender at this point, Marcus.
I understand. The price point, I think, is really good. Gosh, I don't know, Bill. I've seen a couple of reviews of it that had gimbal issues and so forth, and I'm struggling so much with that Autel Nano Plus right now. I guess just the thought of another troubled drone, just
Oh, I know, and I've been following you, and we're gonna get to that here in a minute. One of the things that I wanted to talk about tonight, and I'm glad you're on, is, and we're going to talk about CES here in a minute, and I did not want to. We'll share this here in a minute. One of the things that I wanted to talk about is I signed up to be notified on multiple different websites, Adorama, B&H, Best Buy, you name it, for when the Evo Nano and the Evo Lite hit some of these retail establishments, and they still haven't hit there yet. Now, I talked to our good friend Original Dobo. He said getting information from Autel, he said it would be easier getting your tooth pulled without Novocaine than getting information from Autel, because he's heavily involved with
Sure.
DroneWorks, and he's saying they keep telling them things, and it's just it's this kind of like leading them out some more. And I saw one of Ken's tweets out there, and he says, well, out here at CES 2022, I think I have 3 drone manufacturers that want me dead right now. So,
well, I've heard rumors about his issue with his Nano Plus, and this is just a rumor. I don't know if it's true, but what I heard is that he took off, lost connection, and he could not regain connection to it, and had to wait for the battery to get low enough that it auto landed.
Oh, wow. Well, I saw him today. I checked those, I'll call it message board out on YouTube, and he posted something. He said he's delaying his review on the Nano because he's waiting for a firmware update from Autel. So that kind of leads me to believe what you're saying may have a lot of weight to it.
I just got back from flying mine, so I'm in a bad mood right now, Bill. I mean, the Jello the video was just horrible, and I paid $1,000 for it. So I'm just discouraged. I'm feeling discouraged. That's
I
all.
would too.
So here I am stuck troubleshooting another drone that I paid a lot of money for. It's just discouraging.
Yeah, I mean, and well, again, my hat's off to you, and I think I've said this quite a few times. Is your travails with Hubson, and now with Fimi, and now with Autel. I mean, it seems like it's a revolving door here.
Call me a DJI fanboy, Bill. They frickin' work. That's all.
Yeah. Laugh about it, but the thing is, when you open that box from a DJI drone, you get the batteries, you charge them up, maybe do a firmware update, maybe a calibration or two. You get out there, it's ready, it's good to go.
Yeah, and I disagree with Crypto Man. He's in the chat here saying their warranty service is terrible. I don't know if it's always been really good for me. I've had a couple little problems that they were right on. So, I mean, I don't know what experience he had, but most people I know have had good luck with DJIs.
And the same here. And it's all how you approach DJI. And I know, and one of the things Ken Dono and I had a conversation about this, and and one of the pieces of advice he handed out was, approach them on Twitter, send them a direct message on Twitter. Also, when you send that direct message, post the same thing at DJI support on Twitter, because when that gets out there, it will get attention right away. They'll see that out there because they don't want anything out there. They don't want anything out there forward facing that makes them, something's wrong with a DJI product, kind of a thing. So they'll get it addressed, and they'll get it addressed quickly. And to, and Ken says this is kind of hard for him sometimes, is to kind of keep his cool, and not go flying off the handle.
I gotta be honest with you, that's how I'm feeling right now after.
I don't blame you, Marcus.
Through this thing, I just feel like throwing it on the ground.
I don't blame you. If you pull a Brian Singleton and throw it out,
no,
it in the trash.
I'm not gonna get that carried away.
But yeah, I mean, and that's one of the things that I want to talk about is, now we're seeing some things like, now, did you see Captain Drone just put out a video, his review on the Nano Plus? Have you had a chance to see that?
I did. It was very creatively edited.
Yes. I agree. Now he bought it from a company over in China, I believe. Okay. Because he couldn't find, because Adorama, B&H, everybody still doesn't have stock. So he bought it from them. And yeah, I agree with your assertion there.
Yeah.
And
Oh, I'm sorry, Bill. I didn't
no,
mean
go
to
ahead.
interrupt you.
No, go ahead.
Well, so I got mine from Autel Pilots. I emailed them initially last Friday. Of course, just crickets. I haven't heard back. So I just pinged them again, and hopefully we'll hear from them. But we were talking about DJI. Trust me, had I put that kind of a thing out on Twitter to DJI support, I would have heard from them almost immediately. Hey, Ronnie.
Hey, Ron.
Hello, everybody. How are we doing tonight?
We're doing good. We're in the middle of giving Marcus a handkerchief and tissues for his latest travails with a Nano Plus.
Okay.
Hey, Ron, we're even better now that you're here, pal.
Did you, Marcus? Did you tell the Nano Plus, the big Nano Plus news of the day?
No.
The Nano Plus found its way to Hamilton, Louisiana.
Oh, that one. Yeah.
Oh, I heard
it's in the hands of Johnny Drone Flyer.
I saw that. He
Hammond,
posted that picture
Louisiana.
of that package. I did.
Did I say it right? Hamilton.
Hammond. Yeah,
it's a Hamilton around me. That's why.
That is the big news of the day. That is definitely the big news of the day. So we got to wait to see Johnny's first crack at the Nano Plus.
No, I got a little sneak peek of whatever. Some of Johnny's images and videos look like the best I've seen out of that bird.
They look really good. I know. I saw. Well,
wow, I haven't seen that.
He just sent us some low res stuff, Bill. But what he sent us looked wow. Yeah, good.
Johnny got the good one, Bill.
Johnny got the good one.
he got one of these curated ones, Marcus.
That's it. Yeah, because they knew that he was going to review it on his channel.
Yeah.
Well, you know what I think. Ron, I'm formulating a theory why Marcus has been getting these bad drones. Okay, I'm thinking that the Fimi drones that he have the Hubsan mini drones that he's gotten, and now the Autel Mini. They were all built on the same day.
Could be.
I'm thinking that has to be what's going on here.
Come off the same production line.
Yeah, they came off the same production line. It was probably a Monday or a Friday, and everybody's ready to go, get their, not ready for work on Monday and ready to go home on Friday kind of thing.
Hey, Bill, you want me to upset the football fans here? Maybe Mike Tomlin was the manager that day. They were making him. The foreman.
I don't want to discourage you from that X8 SC 2022. I mean, it's priced right, and if the camera is as good as they say, it may be a fine product. I'm just saying I've seen a couple of reviews that didn't look too good, and I'm just in that kind of a mood today. So.
Well, I want to hear a funny story. I don't know Richard's last name. He's a subscriber of our show. His screen name's like S, a bunch of letters and numbers. But he told me that he's a big fan of the Fimi X8 2020, and he said he let Captain Drone know that they had a firmware update out for it now that supposedly fixes the horizon issues. And guess what Captain Drone told him back? He said, I don't have time. I'm done with that drone.
Oh,
here's the thing, though. But here's what I can relate to. That's what all I keep hearing is, oh yeah, wait till the next firmware update. I hear that about the Hubsan Zeno mini drones. I heard that endlessly on the Fimi Mini, and now people are telling me that on this Autel Mini. Oh yeah, the next firmware update will probably fix that. Well, you know what? Enough is enough.
Well, you put up a Microsoft with Patch Tuesday for a long time, right?
That's true.
Remember, Microsoft was always Patch Tuesday. All the patches came out on Tuesday back in the heyday of, I guess I'll say the 90s, late 80s, 90s. It was Patch Tuesday.
Oh, yeah. Well, it's like, okay, and I was sharing with the guys here, I'm having an interesting thing with YouTube. And I shared this with Ron and Marcus, is, I'll go out and look on, and now this is on Edge, and this is on Chrome. I'll go out to my channel, all right?
Yes.
Then I'll scroll down. I'll see my intro video, which is fine. Then I scroll down below that, and then there's nothing down there. There's no content. There should be my playlist. So I go click on videos, okay? I'm like, I have close to 1,000 videos out there. Nothing shows up down there. Then I'll pull somebody's video up at random down there. No comments are on any of this. Now, you know, I've done this on both Google and Edge and nothing. So I switched over to Mozilla Firefox. It's working out there. So crossing fingers. I found a way. YouTube actually has some help through their community help pages out on Google. So I emailed it to them and I sent them a screenshot, and hopefully I'll get some kind of answer on that, because this is just, it's a head scratcher. I have no idea what's going on.
Well, and for YouTube not to work properly on two of the largest web browsers out there, that's a epic fail, isn't it, Bill?
Yeah, it is. That's not, there's something's going on there with that. So
have you tried your mobile phone and
yeah, it's fine on my phone. It's fine on my phone. It's fine on my tablet too. And both my phone and my tablet use, well, you know, they're Google. They're Android, so they're using Google, and everything's fine. I'm not having any issues. So I don't know what it is. And
it's a good thing that, you know, one of these, like the Autel Nano's not mixed in that equation or whatever.
Well, you know, besides the issues that Marcus is having, and I know, you know, he alluded, Marcus, right before you joined, was telling us about Candano and his supposed issue that he's had with his Nano, and Ken's kind of like taking a step back, exhaling, and waiting for an update before he does a review on the Nano.
Right.
You know,
and that being said, Ken's had good luck with his Lite. So
yes, he's had good luck with the Lite.
Let's give Autel credit where they deserve. The Lite's been a big success.
Yes, and that's kind of piquing my interest as well. So, you know, that's garnering some attention from me. But the big thing is, and I kind of led in with this, okay, I signed up to get email notified on both the Lite and Nano from Adorama, from B&H, from Best Buy, you name it, any kind of retailer.
So your inbox is flooded now, Bill?
You know, my inbox, and I'm waiting to get emails that they're available, and it's like,
crickets?
I'm hearing crickets.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, Autel Pilots, where Marcus got his from, okay, they're available. They ship them DHL, which I've always
had. Your favorite shipping service, right,
I've
Bill?
always had problems with DHL. They're kind of, they get kind of sketchy sometimes, because what happens when they come to the United States, they get handed off to the U.S. mail service, and good luck with the U.S. mail service. Okay. That's no offense to anybody who works for them, but I mean, it's just the handoff doesn't always happen smoothly, let's say. All right.
It's not like Big Ben handing off to Najee Harris. Huh?
No.
Hey, can I give you another Johnny Dronefly story that relates here?
Yeah.
Johnny ordered his from the Autel Pilots, and we calculated today it took 8 days from ordering to showing up at his door.
Okay, that's very good.
DHL.
That's
now,
very
package
good.
had a million labels on it, Bill, but
yeah, they go through. And see, what I found out was when I ordered the smart controller, and by the way, I sent my smart controller back. I got a refund for it because I was, number one, I was pretty ticked at this whole process. But what DHL does is they probably had like 1,000 units in a pallet, okay, and they just scan one barcode, and it counts for all of them as far as going through customs, all right? But it takes time for that pallet to physically move. So that's why it was taking so long. Finally, somebody explained it to me, and I'm like, okay. But I mean, because it was taking forever. And I decided at this point, you know what? This thing was working like a champ right now. My Z Fold 3. I'm like, I don't need anything. You know, I got the Mav mount for my controller for the Mavic 3. I'm doing good. I'm not having any issues. So right now, no tablet.
Did you watch the interview of the guy that invented the Mav mount on the Old Farts with Drones live show?
No, I didn't.
Yeah.
Yeah. Young guy too.
He's fascinating. He started a whole drone videography business in California, and it was interesting, an interesting story.
Now, one of the things that I wanted to do tonight was to kind of go over. Our good friend Sally French had an article here about CES 2022, the biggest drone products from this year, and of course the Skydio 2 Plus drone. And I wanted to stop and take a minute. I'm going to say this: the definitive review that I've seen on the Skydio 2 Plus, our good friend Billy Kyle. Okay. I'm sure you guys probably saw that.
Yes.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
And my biggest takeaway I got from that, all right, is this: is the Skydio 2, with the exception of the range, will be able to do everything the Skydio 2 Plus does. Okay. Because you'll be able to buy the extended batteries, which will fit in it. This keyframe will work with it. That's a firmware update that will work with that. So why in the world do you go with a 2 Plus? For better range, okay? Well, let's be honest here, guys, okay? We're using keyframes. We're not going to be at 2 miles away using keyframes, all right? We're probably going to be about 1,000 yards away watching this thing, all right? So, for my money, Skydio 2 Plus, I think it's just a hook to get people into Skydio.
I loaded all that up, and all of those updates are available, Bill. As a matter of fact, right before Drone Nation yesterday, I loaded it all up on my Skydio. So I'm anxious to get out and try that out. It looks like a tremendous product.
Bill, yeah, don't we have to give kudos out to Skydio for actually, sharing some of this new technology with their older product, the waypoint features that you guys just said. It escapes my brain instantly. The waypoint features, the increased battery that they basically did what do you call it? They definitely killed their old drone off.
Yeah, they made it reverse compatible. And but the other thing, I got to tell you, I watched Billy's video of the 2 Plus or 2 Pro or whatever they call the one with the antenna on it, and the range. It didn't look that much better to me. I mean, he got out there not very far, and the FPV started breaking up on it and stuff. So.
Yeah, well, let's be honest about this, Mark. Is the Skydio 2 Skydio 2 Plus is still not drones going to replace your DJI drone or even your Autel drone. You're not going to pick it up and fly it any place you want and have great signal. It's still not that drone, even with those little antennas.
Yeah. Well, here's what I'll say, and I believe that Skydio complements my Mavic 3. In other words, I can use one or the other in different situations, and there's no question that the Skydio is the king of tracking and that kind of thing. So
avoidance,
it's good. It's good for that, and I can't wait to try this keyframe thing, because it looks like it might be a handy way to get some interesting shots that would otherwise be kind of difficult to achieve.
Marcus, maybe you could keyframe this beautiful, like kind of Caribbean or island house here or whatever.
And I think that's a really great example, because if you look at that path, they're going in between the trees and so forth.
Places you wouldn't be able to fly line of sight because you couldn't see all those angles.
You couldn't see them all, and that's what's cool about that keyframe thing. You'd fly that, and you'd get all those, and you could move around then, get all those angles, and then you just tell the drone to start that path. And yeah.
Hey, I don't want to disrupt too much here, but our good friend Stephen Ewing put a comment in chat. We talked about this a little bit on Drone Nation last night, but I don't think anybody's really interested. But Bill, did you see that the SDK were released for the Mini 2 and the Air 2S almost like around the first year, like the first, second day of the year, and already there's already a lot of apps out that have taken advantage of it, with Litchi, but there's a couple newer apps that I don't know about that are, using the waypoints and some of the tracking features, whatever. What do you know about this, Bill?
Well, and that's a good point. I'm glad Steven brought it up, and I'm glad you brought it up, because I think that's something want to talk about for a couple of minutes here. One of the things I've always liked what I saw from the Litchi app, and I first got, a taste of it when I had my Phantom 4 and I was looking at some of the other things. And then, it crossed, somewhere in one of the forums somewhere or groups somewhere said, if your Phantom 4 is still under warranty and you fly with Litchi, it's like, caveat emptor, buyer beware kind of a thing.
Right.
Because, if you crash, good luck.
Right. Of course, typically these SDKs are not released by DJI until the drone's a year old. So your original year warranty is gone by then, unless you purchased a additional warranty.
Right. Or unless you've purchased that drone recently and still
Yeah.
have
Right.
one.
Right.
So,
and I wonder if the Allstate, is it Allstate? I wonder if the third party insurance companies, whether they would care whether you were using Litchi or the DJI app.
I don't think so, Ron, because I've talked to a couple of the reps at State Farm, and they told me, basically any kind of act of God, if something happens, if it gets stolen, if it gets slammed down because of a high wind, if it loses signal, a whole host of things, and nothing, and that obviously that would include things like software failure. For some reason, that software just quit and your drone dropped out of the sky, they're going to cut you a check, and they're very good about that. Of course, they look at who they're getting as far as a customer is concerned, because they do, they will check you out before they accept you as far as a policy is concerned. Yeah. But if you file too many claims with them, then you're gonna kind of muddy up the water there with that.
Definitely. And just let's be forward here. I mean, we're all speculating that the Litchi app and any third party app may cause more accidents. There's no data out there to prove that app like the Litchi causes any more flyaways than the DJI app does. There's just speculation at this point.
I agree. And thanks, Jay Bird, for the for the donation there. We really appreciate that. And just as a reminder for those of you who may have joined a little late, I'm going to be giving away 10 stickers, and still send your emails in, because the first 10 I'm picking them off there and going to send it to it. And Lauren, as a reminder,
this sticker right here, Bill,
that sticker right there,
Ron, would it be that one?
It would be that one. Absolutely. It looks great on a black case. Okay. That's why I was thinking and there's Lawrence.
Let's give Lauren some love here too.
There you go.
We got our wings tonight.
All right. And Lauren, don't forget to send me your address, because I got something I know I can get to you. So, but yeah, okay. That's it for the Skydio here. And now, one of the other interesting things is, and the Sony AirPeak, that's been coming out, and our good friend Aldrin Anastasio from Flight Path has one, and it comes in at a pretty hefty price tag. Okay, the drone itself goes for $9,000. Doesn't include the gimbal, which you want as well. That goes for $2,200. Buy them together, $11,200. Okay, there you go.
And we thought the Mavic 3 City Pack was costly.
Yeah. You're paying for some things. Now, here's Autel's display that they have here, and of course, they're talking about that. And then they have a new vertical takeoff and landing drone right here. It's called Dragonfish. It's one of their massive ones.
How many Dragonfishes are you going to order?
Hey, one of the things I was kind of surprised I've got access to all those CES, they call them B-roll videos. Mm-hmm. And that Dragonfish, there's about 4 or 5 different versions of that guy. It's not just one vertical takeoff and landing aircraft. There's several different versions of it.
Yeah, they have several iterations with some option packages that you can get for them.
And bigger and smaller even. Yeah.
And they fly apparently 180 minutes on a charge. So that's a pretty decent amount of running time as far as that's concerned.
Now that has a plane looking design to it. Does it kind of float in the wind more than a typical drone does?
Well, I think when you have, the vertical takeoff and landing, you've probably seen the Marine Corps has a plane called or STOL called the Osprey. where the wings tilt, goes up, and then it does forward flight like a normal plane. You use less energy. It takes less energy, when you tilt those wings forward and you're using it and going forward versus maintaining that thrust up. And then remember also too, you're also having to yaw and pitch, and that's going to eat up a lot of juice when you're doing that. Versus if you're going in one direction like that, you're not using up that battery power like that.
One of the things I thought was cool about it is it's got those two props on the main fuselage that are part of the vertical lift part of it. And as soon as it goes into horizontal flight, it locks those two props straight ahead for aerodynamics. There's some cool engineering in that.
Yeah, it really is.
And did you see Ray Kelly's comment? He said the Dragonfish was used by the Lee County, Florida Sheriff's Office in the Brian Laundrie case.
Okay.
Oh wow, yeah, when they were looking for that guy that killed that.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
Good info, Captain Ray.
Yeah. So with all that being said, CES was probably more, the big name that wasn't there was DJI. And, there's a whole host of reasons probably why.
Was it COVID related at all? Or,
it could be it was COVID related. It could be their latest interactions with the federal government, with their,
or they're selling so damn many drones they didn't need to advertise anymore.
That's also a possibility too.
Yeah, I mean, look, Apple hasn't been at CES in forever.
Yeah,
it's their message is out there. I mean, it's important for companies like Autel to be there. That's definitely a plus, and Skydio, that's definitely a plus for them. But
and we forgot X Dynamics.
And X Dynamics. What gets me though is why companies like Fimi and Humpson don't show up to CES. Okay.
Well, spot on, Bill. I absolutely have always wondered about that exactly too, to showcase what they do,
because they want to, they're making an inroads in the market in the United States, and in order for them to really kind of do that, you need to have a presence at CES.
Except CES is important for China too. I mean, you go to CES and trust me, most of the vendors there are Chinese-based vendors. It's amazing. And so I know it's critical. And you would think like Xiaomi in particular, the parent company for Fimi, would have more of a presence there too. So
and Bill, we know how good Hubson does in their kind of their presentations and whatever. we saw it last spring, right?
Yeah.
They do a first rate, like presentation of a product. Can you imagine going to CES and watching that show, Bill?
That was a disaster beyond a disaster. Okay, that was like watching a football team that doesn't have any wins for the season. Okay, I mean,
that's like watching Jacksonville Jaguars play. Or
okay, all right. And then
I went there.
Oh yeah, the Raiders and the Chargers. As long as they don't tie, we'll be fine. The Steelers will be in. Oh my God!
You came within seconds of that time, Bill.
I woke up the next morning. Now I went to bed. All right, and I have the NBC Sports app on my tablet, and I was watching that game, and there was like 12 minutes left. The Raiders were up by like 12 points. I'm like, this is a lock. This isn't going to be a problem, And then I went out and I saw, I go out to NFL on YouTube, and I watched like the last 10 minutes of the fourth quarter and then overtime. I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm so glad I didn't stay up and watch this. It would have been nerve-wracking. No way.
Sorry, folks, for the
sorry for the football.
We're back to drones now.
Football interlude there, but the Evo, the Autel Evo Lite is under consideration as well for me. I watched Ken's video, and I looked at some, and I looked at the quality of the video that's been coming out, and I've seen some others, and I'm really liking what I'm seeing from that video wise, and and picture wise, and I really like that feature that they have at night. When with a flick of the button, that it really just it makes that thing just pop. Those images at night, and it looks really nice. So that's kind of on my radar as well too right now.
That's an expensive product, but
Yeah,
so far so good.
yeah, it is. So it's like what
It's
am
really
I
not much less than the Evo 2
Yeah,
Pro.
and you know what? I just thought about that too, Ron. Just as I was saying it, it's always a relative term, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah.
Well,
Yeah, I mean, definitely drone prices have seen a big increase in the last 6 months. I mean, the prices kind of held, like the Air 2S sort of held its old price, really didn't go up much from the first Air 2, but ever since then, drone prices are skyrocketing, Bill, and I don't see any reverse. Do you?
No, I don't. This trend is going to continue. It's going to go up. They're going to go up and not down. And if you see something on sale, you better jump on it as soon as you can, because
Hey, Bill, we asked this question last night. We went around the panel. DJI Mini 3. Can you ballpark me the price for the base kit?
I'm going to say base kit for that $699.
We had a lot of 699s last night.
Yeah,
Base kit. That's just one battery
that's not
controller.
Primor. That's just one battery. The basics. Yeah.
It'll keep them under the price of Nano, but still, it's still a big markup. Yeah.
Yeah, it's going to be under. It will be under the price of the Nano. I can just about guarantee you that. Anything else as far as that's concerned, it's going to be wide open to see what.
Lauren, he said last night he's calling 649.
649.
I like that. I'll take that.
I'll take that price too. Okay, if I can get it for 649.
Yeah.
That is a good price.
And Jay Bird said it goes up 100 every year. But wasn't the Mini 1 was $399, right? And the Mini 2 was $449. So we saw a $50 price jump in the base kit. But this time we think it's going to be a $200 jump.
It probably is because of what they're going to be adding to it. It's probably going to have probably a new OcuSync for it. Probably the one that's in the Mavic 3, I would imagine. It's going to definitely have some kind of obstacle avoidance to it. Hopefully they solve the problem of, the Hubsan problem of overheating. Hopefully, they have enough vents on it to cool that off. And then also runtime. Who knows what the runtime is going to be on something like this?
Because once you add the obstacle avoidance, it's hard to increase the battery life. I guess that sort of stuff, I guess we could take some of that for granted, but the key question is, how good will the camera be on the Mini 3? I mean, some people speculate 1-inch sensor. Any guesses on how good the camera will actually be?
I think it's going to rival what I'm thinking. The Mini 3 is going to rival the Air 2S in terms of the camera capabilities. I think it's going to knock a lot of people's socks off as far as that camera is concerned. I think you're going to get some stellar video from it, some stellar pictures from it, and they're going to pack it with a lot of stuff, like hyperlapse and other things. The mini drones, it's definitely, that's the trend. This is where this is going here. Okay. It's like, okay. And I'll go back to an analogy with cars in the early 80s. Okay. Everybody started shifting away from rear wheel drive to front wheel drive. Okay.
Right.
All the manufacturers started doing that. Well, we're seeing a shift here now with the drone manufacturers from the bigger drones. And I'll even include like the Mavic series down to minis that are 249 grams and under. Especially, it's very favorable over in other countries like Canada and over in Europe, UK, Australia, where their rules are a lot more strict as far as the weight is concerned.
Yes.
So
definitely.
that makes perfect sense to me.
Yeah.
It really does.
So, yeah, I mean, I guess we got the Mini 3's a few months out, so I guess we shouldn't over speculate right now. But I'm sure we'll, as the winter wears on, we'll get more leaks and whatever as we.
Well, I'm just waiting now. Okay, the Inspire 3 talk was started as well. I saw a few things about that, and I think from what Lauren said, that's when you better hold on to your hats. You think that Sony AirPeak is expensive at $11,200. I don't even think you can get a base. I think the base model I think by the time you trick out an Inspire 3, you're probably going to be at least 20 grand.
And Bill, am I correct in understanding that you pre-ordered one?
Mm-hmm.
Now, but Bill, we'll have front wheel drive.
It will have front wheel drive.
At 20 grand, that's the price of an early 80s car, right? No, it's more. Early 80s cars didn't cost 20,000, did they, Marcus?
It includes tickets to the hotel of my choice along Reddington Beach, so I can fly it over
there. Oh, actually, it'll include tickets to the Hampton Inn at the Great Florida Drone Meetup in early April.
Yep, that's coming up in early April. Weather has been very interesting here. I mean, we had a couple of days with where it would get down into the 40s at night, but then it's bounced back. It's been mostly in the 80s during the day here, and no rain to speak of here. Some wind, but really no rain. So the weather's been great. So it's been very favorable.
Good day to fly. Yeah, recently.
Yeah, it's good days to fly. But
hope the New Jersey weather doesn't blow down that way.
I'm kind of hoping on that too. And then of course, everything's going real smooth. And then all of a sudden, my daughter sends us some pictures of our granddaughter, and I'm like, I look at my wife, and I'm like, okay, you know what? That's wrong. Just to send those pictures out there because we just saw them over Christmas, and it's like, okay, now I can see why my mom always said I need to get my grandchildren fixed. Okay. Because it's like a virus, you pick it up and you can't get rid of it. And it's one of those things you got to get more of. And that's it like that. So, because we're already talking about making plans to go up for her birthday, but her birthday isn't until July, so it's like kind of a
probably
thing.
Good thing it's not January. Probably Columbus probably isn't the nicest place in January, is it, Bill?
No, it's cold, it's rainy, it's bleak. There's no sunshine. You don't see the sun doesn't make an appearance. I told Valerie from about November, through the end of February or March. I mean, it's very few days that the sun's out up there. So
a bad day to fly in Columbus, huh?
Yeah, not too good, that's for sure. Yeah. So
Lauren's saying Inspire 3 with no camera, expect 7 to 8K, possibly cheaper. No,
okay, that's
but the camera, add the cameras will be thousands of dollars, right, Bill?
Yeah, that camera will probably run.
We're not putting on a little Polaroid or anything, right?
Right, that's not gonna that's not gonna be the module you'll find on your Fimi X8 SE 2020.
Now, we did get some news at CES from X Dynamics. They're coming out with a 10x optical zoom camera for the X Dynamics Evolve 2 drone and a dual thermal camera.
Okay.
Yeah.
That'll be interesting to see.
I don't think there was pricing on these cameras yet.
No, and that's the first I heard of that. I knew they were there, and I expected to get some kind of an announcement. But
the Evolve 2 really needs to get a foothold before the Inspire 3 comes out, right?
Yeah. Ron, I thought you made a good point about price last night on the Evolve as well.
Oh, really, if you get the base kit Evolve 2, it's less than the Cinepack from DJI.
Well, I'm going to answer Michael Wright's question. Yes, as long as, we don't have another, grand and glorious pandemic dealio kind of thing or anything going on, I'll be there. Okay.
Well, the Omicron should have peaked and gone away by then, right, Bill?
Yeah, we're not going to be staying overnight. We'll be there for the day. So, because it's like about a 2.5 hour or 3 hour trip from where we live. So it's cross state. So it's not.
You can stay at the Marcos Oceanfront mansion.
Well, Bill, so Sarah and I are going to stay. We're going to sleep on the couch in Ron and Susan's condo.
Okay.
or you mean our villa?
Your villa, yeah.
Your villa. Yeah, I think right now that's the plan, but it may change. We may stay overnight. Who knows? You know, things get better down here. So, any closing thoughts, guys?
Marcus?
Well, I'll tell you. I listen. You forgive me because I got frustrated today after flying that Nano Plus and continuing to have issues with it. But
I mean, the thing is, Marcus, it seems like every flight you make with it is a totally different flight. You never get the same flight. That's my reading? Is that correct?
Well, yeah, it seems that way, Ron. And I'll tell you that I just looked at the video from this last flight, and the Jello and shakes are worse than ever.
But they went away for a flight, right?
Well, one flight, like the last flight I did, it didn't look too bad, but this one, it's worse than ever. So I don't know. I have no clue. And I'm tired of troubleshooting drones like that. And it's like, again, it's not like it's a $300 or $400 drone. I mean, this thing,
right?
You
could just go get your Mavic 3 out and not have any frustration.
There you go. That's exactly right. So, Ron, that was part of my closing thoughts. Is I want to get out and fly that Mavic 3 some more, and I really, really want to try the keyframes function on that Skydio too.
Yeah, good thoughts. My thoughts, Bill, are that I mean, I'm tempted to get a Nano Plus, and like, I hear Marcus's, woes with it. Then you hear John Drone Flyer get it, and like, his is flying perfectly. It was one battery only, but I mean, I kind of don't want to get back into the Fimi and Hubson type of cycle where you have to hope you win the lottery and you get the one that works out of the box correctly, So, Bill, I think I'm going to, Marcus, how do you say a better part of valor? I think I'm going to just sit back, watch how the Nano progresses, watch for these firmware updates to come out. And, if it becomes a rock solid drone, I mean, to everybody, not just one in 10 guys gets a good one. When everybody's just flying good, then I'll make a buying decision, Bill. And by that point, though, maybe the Mini 3 is out. So I may just skip the Nano altogether and go right to the Mini 3. Is that, you think I'm crazy on that, Bill? Or
no, I don't. I think that really kind of sounds like a good game plan, and that's kind of something.
Well, like a Mike Tomlin game plan, huh?
Well, there's a lot of names being bantered about Mike Tomlin. They're all PG, of course, but one of them was the cliche coach, because he always has an answer for everything. Okay, his catchphrase, the standard is the standard, and I said, well, the standard was set by Chuck Noll when they won 4 Super Bowls. Okay, so anything less than going to the Super Bowl, it's not in my book, as far as the Steelers season, anything less than getting to the championship game, even the AFC championship, that season isn't a good season for me. So
sorry, folks, I got him back on the Steelers again. Sorry,
yeah, on
you were going to comment about my Evo Nano game plan,
right? And I think Ron has a good point there, and I'm thinking, discretion is the better part of valor here. And I think I'm just going to kind of like soak all this in for a while. Okay. I had seriously thought about the Fimi, but Fimi, if you're listening and you want to send me one, I'll gladly test it. Okay. I won't have a problem with that. And likewise, Autel, you send me an Evo Lite Plus, I'll be happy to test that. But for now, I'm just going to kind of take stock and see what's going on with everything and enjoy my Mavic 3 right now, because I know, Marcus, my prescription for you, go out, take your Mavic 3, go out and have a good time. Okay.
There you go. I think you're right.
You will come home, you'll flip that, put that SD card in your computer, and you'll look and you'll be like, why didn't I think of this sooner? Okay.
It'll be beautiful.
And you know what, gentlemen? You know what my next new drone will be? It'll really be when that Mavic 3 firmware update drops and we get all the features. They'll be like having a new drone. That's my next new drone. The Mavic 3 complete. Yeah.
Ron, you just made a great point, and that could happen any minute, any day, huh?
It probably, 5 minutes after the show's over, it'll happen. That's whenever we finish the show, something happens. Then by the time we get the next week, it's all news.
Yeah. it'll be like, oh, everybody's had it and have been, there's 3 or 4 videos out on it, and yeah, we're good to
Aldridge got
go.
10 videos already on the new.
He probably does.
More than likely. Okay, more than likely. Just a couple things that I wanted to close the show with here, and I started this out earlier. Valerie's father is not doing pretty well. He's got a number of underlying health issues. He's in his mid-80s, so and is some of you, I don't know if you guys are aware, but she comes from a large family. She's one of 7. And she's been visiting her dad every day. He's in a hospital nearby, which is good. So if you can remember all that in your thoughts and prayers. And the other thing too, and this really kind of hit home. A friend of mine from high school who I knew since grade school, I went to kindergarten with him, and he had the kind of gift of making people laugh in a good way. All right. He always found the humor in things. He ended up being a guard at the courthouse and interacted with several friends of mine from high school who worked as court reporters in the courthouse, and just what a wonderful guy he was. And, I lived close to him. Early on growing up when we were young, he'd come down to my house. I'd go up to him, and, we'd have a good time. Got a little, we got separated in high school, and, really haven't connected. And then I found out he had his son really liked hockey, and found out that he dove into football and everything. So it was 63 years old. Got an email. Well, I got a post out on Facebook. He passed away suddenly the other day. He was 63 years old. And,
he was a big Steelers fan.
He was a very big Steelers fan, and just, he was funny, and he was genuinely funny. And he put a smile on people's faces when they had a frown. He had that kind of gift. He was very special with that. So, his name was John. Remember his family. He leaves behind a wife and a son in his late teens, I think. But more importantly, enjoy every day, guys. This is the day we're promised. Enjoy it. Live it. Tell your loved ones that you love them every day. Don't miss a day. Don't skip a beat with that, because it kind of brought a reality check here for me as well too. So wanted to pass all that on. Okay, guys, it's been a great show. Thank you all for tuning in tonight.
Thanks for having us, Bill.
You're welcome, Ron and Marcus. And Lauren, don't forget to send me your address, because I will get you something. And as always, guys, remember, great day to fly. Take care, guys.
Fly safe.